Good morning, good afternoon or good evening, wherever you might be watching. Let's look at a couple of the more advanced features in Microsoft Word. Particularly we'll look at inserting columns and also how to use a section break in a document to enable the formatting of the document to occur as I wish. First of all, let's look at the document that we're using. It's a treatise on graphic design. It's a 4-page document, about 1100 odd words, but it doesn't appear as I want it to appear. What I want to do for printing purposes and perhaps viewing are to insert columns. So what I'm going to do is, in the page layout tab, in the page setup group, I'll click the drop arrow below columns and say 2, and it gives me 2 columns. I can scroll down, there are my 2 columns. Nice and easy. The problem arises, however, with the heading up here, graphic design. I can see that it doesn't appear as I want it to. I would like the graphic design heading to appear here, centered across the document, above the 2 columns. So how can I do that? Well, I'm going to undo that particular action, and I'm now back at just 1 column, and I see my graphic design heading is here. Well, let's see what happens when I simply center align that that particular heading and then insert my 2 columns by going to page layout, and watch what happens to the heading even though I have center aligned it. Okay, it's still not appearing as I want it to. So we'll undo that last action, undo that one, and what I'm going to do is to click after graphic design, and in the page layout tab in the page setup group, I'll click the drop arrow next to breaks, because this enables me to select section breaks. Section breaks in a document, in fact, a section could be perhaps best described as a page on its own. It's like a separate page, even though the section is in a particular page, as we shall see. What I'm going to do here is to insert a continuous section break. That is, a section break and start the new section on the same page. So I will do that. Now, what I can do now is to center align the graphic design heading. We'll center align that, and now clicking down into the following section, I'll now see how my columns appear. I'll insert 2 columns, and this time I see the heading appears exactly where I want it to. I may have to do a little bit of formatting in the column there, because just by clicking there and then pressing enter. But now I see that the heading is in its own section. There is a section break in there, and if I go into the Home tab and click on the Show Hide, there is the section break. It tells me where the section break is, and it's a continuous section break. So that's how I solve that particular problem. So remember, I can insert columns for appearance sake. I can also use sections to control the where headings appear thus. So what I might do now in there is just to reformat, perhaps make it a little bit bigger, 14, might make it red, just to see that what I'm doing only applies to that particular section. Hopefully you found these slightly more advanced features in Word handy. Please subscribe to the channel unless you've already done so. Love to have you as a subscriber. Any likes or comments, of course, would be appreciated, and see you next time.